According to TV tropes, Tim Miller's Deadpool doesn't so much break the fourth wall as take a bulldozer to the wall, burn it, and then explode the ashes. Deadpool may not be the only cause of this obliterated wall, but by breaking it at least 20 times in a film, we cannot ignore the damage anymore. This damage is the symptom of 21st century pop culture movies, as Barbie, Wolf of Wall Street, The Office, She-Hulk all take turns mercilessly dismantling this wall. In case you don't know what the fourth wall is, check out this video in the cards to know better. But as we crave these fictional characters to feel more and more real to us, the intensity of fan culture is assuming ironic levels of make-believe with the onset of AI and virtual reality. Fiction and media are now seeping into the very fabric of our reality as we question if we are living in the simulation ourselves. While there's ton of reason to mourn over these broken walls and our minds, there's a filmmaker called Wes Anderson who makes art out of this broken wall. He uses robotic, mumbling characters breaking the fourth wall almost every time they act. He plays with the film medium like a kid plays with action figures.
Am I not in this? Excuse me? I'm not in this.
With his latest film, Asteroid City, Anderson goes on to explore what lies beyond the fourth wall, a world I've never seen being addressed before with such meta-filmmaking sincerity. Asteroid City starts with a theater setting, going back to cinema's roots of the conventional three-walled story setup with a third-person narrator introducing us to the film's world. First, we see panels depicting three-story walls of the American Western. Then we are told about a crater and a train running through this desert in the foreground, carrying the machine of American culture. Then we are told about the characters in the narrative who look at us through the broken fourth wall. Typically, that should be enough exposition for us to experience this postmodern story. However, there's something more that Anderson sneaks into this monologue. We are told about the clean, neither warm nor cold light coming from above. While the fourth wall is an interesting barrier between us and the fictional world, guarded by the audience's belief, there's an entity believed to be overhead that's as much of an enigma to real humans as it is to fictional ones. Its perspective is presented as mysteriously authoritative. Here, the characters look at the camera, but they are clearly not looking at us. They are looking with awe at the same being we expect to look at when we look up. Oh, and by the way, this is a shot from David Lynch's Lost Highway, and there's a terrible, real-life murder I found hidden in its editing, so go check that out in the card above. Spoiler alert, in Asteroid City, it's this unfamiliar being who puts all of humanity to a standstill. Asteroid City's central story starts by showing us how today's humans function, stripped down to their procedural rituals of playing and performing. Grown-up Americans in Wes Anderson's world are self-aware of how little they mean in this universe. They are postmodern robots who no longer believe in a god or a higher meaning to their existence. They just play some sophisticated role in society and keep bringing meta-references outside their life.
Cleopatra, Jagadish Chandra Bose, Antony van Leeuwenhoek, Paracelsus, Kurt Gödel.
In this world, production is automated and humans are consumed in consumption, discourse, and thinking. As a result, Shakespeare's weird sisters come back as little girls, playing out a more imaginative ritual that has no meaning to the story. The teens also don't have much purpose to express emotion because they're being inducted into scientific exploration, a very serious job.
Junior stargazers and space cadets, we watch transfixed as you enter into uncharted territories of the brains and spirit. If you wanted to live a nice, quiet, peaceful life, you picked the wrong time to get born.
The only character whose face consciously emotes in the first act is Scarlett Johansson's, except her character is an actor and she's merely preparing to play a role, so she's meta-convincing herself to emote. The point is, through the camera, editing and character, we are introduced to a world fixated on order. Everybody needs to do their job precisely as prescribed by authorities. Anderson sets this world up and plays with it. until he brings out his wild card to disrupt this order. Notice how the editing goes awry as soon as the alien shows up to frighten the humans. The bright green completely takes over the natural Western setting and puts the busy orders of the human world to rest. As is apt, only the photographer can do something in this situation. Once the alien takes away the asteroid and leaves, as the panic of uncertainty ensues, some people start reaching out to communicate to other people, some start preparing for war, others simply start questioning their own existence.
Maybe it's because I'm afraid. Otherwise, nobody'll notice my existence in the universe.
The photographer copes by diverting his attention to Scarlett Johansson, as most of us might do in the situation. But on a more political level, the science class of kids is most affected.
I'm going to attempt to proceed with the lesson plan I originally prepared, just to keep orderliness under the circumstances. I expect that some of our information about outer space may no longer be completely accurate, but anyway, there's still only 9 planets in the solar system as far as we know. Billy?
Except now there's an alien.
True, by all appearances.
Their intrusive thoughts take over as natural instincts return. Oh, what a bane their imaginations are to scientific progress. To remedy the situation, the traditional cowboy makes a comeback to the Western setting in classic postmodern fashion, as the liberal teacher applauds this savior. All of this while in the background, he's been encouraging kids to smoke. So it's starting to become clear how such typical characters are being brought in as a complete joke. Anderson is stripping them of their classical meanings and parading them as ontologically naked. The paradox of humanity is that a threatening situation awakens us, especially our kids. But our response to this awakening is restricted to singing songs, symbols, or conflict. We don't know any other way to respond to an alien. By the end of the film, we realize there's no particular meaning to the alien coming and going. The story is more about the human comedy of errors created as a result of the alien. Wes Anderson is probably just the photographer who simply captures the event in awe. What the hell would he know about an alien? The key to appreciating Asteroid City is to observe this human response to uncertainty.
Why does Augie burn his hand on the quickie griddle? I still don't understand the play.
And how it ironically brings out not only our worst but also the best, most human things in us, making us more alive and interesting in a world where the fourth wall is already broken. By losing all order, thanks to gods and aliens, we get to see different people dealing with it in different ways. So after a balanced assessment of the film, in my suave opinion, the asteroid in Asteroid City is just an excuse to bring out a neurotic response in its characters, a MacGuffin, and if you try to find meaning in it, you'd be in the same plight as the characters in the story. Asteroid City is therefore the next step taken to challenge fictional characters and their pre-established mechanism of Hollywood westerns, Shakespeare, and to some extent the director's own style. The only symbol that matters now is this red button and the bell icon next to it. This is Suave, and I hope you found this video interesting.